Hey everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to take this styrofoam block and turn it into a beautiful sunflower. So I started with 3 rolls of burlap, all of which came from Walmart for less than $4 a roll. I'm going to take some of this floral wire and turn it into little floral picks. It's very easy to do. You just cut off a little length and kind of turn it into a staple or a U. And we did this for every single piece of burlap you see. So there's so many different ways of creating flowers. The approach I'm going to show you today is very informal, and I'm just a huge fan of burlap. So this is traditional burlap, it's not burlap mesh, and I think it created a really cool effect in the end. So we're going to start with our green, and I'm going to cut these pieces approximately 10 inches or so. And what we're going to do is just take it and roll it up the way I tell you not to roll up your mesh. So we're going to create little cannolis like this, take our floral pins, dip them in our glue skillet, and pin them on either side. So this is a learning curve for me. I've never actually made one like this. So in the end, you're going to see a couple things, I switched up, including the color of the burlap and also our technique of adding it. So here's where we're going to switch up the burlap. I didn't have enough on one roll of the green, so I'm going to actually alternate between the green and the brown. It's the same length, approximately 10 inches or so, and we're doing the same exact process, just rolling it up at an angle, folding it in half, and having those kind of petals shoot outwards. So this brown and green mesh is going to simulate our foliage around the sunflower. If you wanted to just do a flower without any leaves around, by all means, I would just recommend about 3 to 4 rolls of one color of mesh. And this mesh is brand new at Walmart. I've never seen this style before. As you can see, it's going by a lot quicker, so we didn't actually use floral pins for the entirety of the wreath. What I ended up doing was just take a length of wire, fold it in half, and then just wrap it around the burlap. It was that easy, and it actually was a little bit simpler than cutting a bunch of floral pins. So here we have this beautiful sunflower yellow burlap. I've never seen it in this shade, and we're cutting these pieces approximately about 10 inches or so as well. So what we did is just, again, attach the wire and hot glue it in place. So this process is very simple, and the reason I like this so much is that it's informal and all of the petals aren't perfect. Traditionally, you'll see these floral wreaths with the petals being perfect, which is also another great option, but for me, I was on a time crunch, and I thought it was easier just to gather it up at random and add it as petals. So in the end, I'm really happy with it, and we actually created the circle, the flower circle, and we did something a little bit different. We actually took some jute. So just wait a minute and you'll see exactly how we did that. So we came back in with 2 layers of the yellow burlap, and here we have just an extra brick of foam. So this is just a round disc, and this is the one that I originally was going to use to create our flower, and ultimately I chose the 16-inch round form instead of this one. But this one's going to work great as creating our little flower center. So I just took some leftover jute. This was actually from another tutorial. I'm adding some hot glue directly to the plastic, because what ended up happening is the plastic just kind of melted within it, and it just secured anyway, so it didn't really make a difference to remove the plastic or not, and in the end you're not going to see it anyway. So I'm just wrapping it around. Every now and then I'm adding a little bit of hot glue, and then I found some of this narrow yarn, or actually jute, that Alex used at some point or another, and I decided let's create another little circle and place it right on top. So there's really no rhyme or reason for anything I've done here, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out, because it's just something a little bit unusual. So now what we're going to do is just place that flower center in the middle. We do have to wedge our mesh around a little bit. I'm taking some leftover wire and I'm feeding it through both bricks of foam, and I'm going to secure it from behind. So I did this twice. Here's the first time. I'm just wrapping it around, and I do encourage you wrap it really long, because what I recommend doing is cutting it off and then folding it back into the frame. That way you don't pose the risk of scratching you, your customer, or their door. Then I just poked a little hole with our scissors, poked a pipe cleaner in with some hot glue. Make sure you use a lot of hot glue. Here's the finished product. So if you decide to create this, try your own style. Use your own colors, flower centers, you name it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and follow us on all our social media. Bye everyone.